Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Sit, as on a branch. Stay the same, remain in a certain state. Rest assured. Euphemisms for death, based on an analogy between lying in a bed and in a tomb. She was laid to rest beside her husband. Take a short break from one's activities in order to relax. Freedom from activity, work or strain or responsibility. Rest on or as if on a pillow. Something left after other parts have been taken away. He threw away the rest. A pause for relaxation. People actually accomplish more when they take time for short rests. Be inherent or innate in. Have a place in relation to something else. The responsibility rests with the allies. A musical notation indicating a silence of a specified duration. A state of inaction. A body will continue in a state of rest until acted upon. A support on which things can be put. The gun was steadied on a special rest. Be at rest. Be inactive, refrain from acting. The committee is resting over the summer. Give a rest to. He rested his bad leg. Not move, be in a resting position. Put something in a resting position, as for support or steadying. Sit, as on a branch. The birds perched high in the tree. A square rod of land. To come to rest, settle. A linear measure of 16.5 feet. An elevated place serving as a seat. Any of numerous fishes of America and Europe. Any of numerous spiny-finned fishes of various families of the order Perciformes. Cause to perch or sit. She perched her hat on her head. Spiny-finned freshwater food and game fishes. Support consisting of a branch or rod that serves as a resting place, especially for a bird. Sit, as on a branch. A perch on which domestic fowl rest or sleep. A shelter with perches for fowl or other birds. Settle down or stay, as if on a roost. Stay the same, remain in a certain state. The dress remained wet after repeated attempts to dry it. Continue in a place, position, or situation. Despite student protests, he remained dean for another year. Stay behind. The hostility remained long after they made up. Be left. Of persons, questions, problems, results, evidence, etc. There remains the question of who pulled the trigger. Hang on during a trial of endurance. Stay the same, remain in a certain state. Stay alone. Stay put, in a certain place. We are staying in Detroit. We are not moving to Cincinnati. The state of inactivity following an interruption. The momentary stay enabled him to escape the blow. Dwell. You can stay with me while you are in town. Overcome or allay. Stop or halt. Please stay the bloodshed. Continue in a place, position, or situation. After graduation, she stayed on in Cambridge as a student advisor. Stay behind. The smell stayed in the room. A judicial order forbidding some action until an event occurs or the order is lifted. The Supreme Court has the power to stay an injunction pending an appeal to the whole court. A thin strip of metal or bone that is used to stiffen a garment, e.g. a corset. Continuing or remaining in a place or state. They had a nice stay in Paris. Fasten with stays. Nautical. Brace consisting of a heavy rope or wire cable used as a support for a mast or spar. Stop a judicial process. The judge stayed the execution order. Remain behind. I had to stay at home and watch the children. Euphemisms for death, based on an analogy between lying in a bed and in a tomb. Euphemisms for death, based on an analogy between lying in a bed and in a tomb. Euphemisms for death, based on an analogy between lying in a bed and in a tomb. A period of time spent sleeping. He felt better after a little sleep. Euphemisms for death, based on an analogy between lying in a bed and in a tomb. They had to put their family pet to sleep. Be asleep. A natural and periodic state of rest during which consciousness of the world is suspended. He didn't get enough sleep last night. A torpid state resembling deep sleep. Be able to accommodate for sleeping. This tent sleeps 6 people. Expel, gases or odors. Take a short break from one's activities in order to relax. Draw air into, and expel out of, the lungs. I can breathe better when the air is clean. Allow the passage of air through. Our new synthetic fabric breathes and is perfect for summer wear. Be alive. Every creature that breathes. Impart as if by breathing. He breathed new life into the old house. Manifest or evince. She breathes the Christian spirit. Reach full flavor by absorbing air and being let to stand after having been uncorked. This rare Bordeaux must be allowed to breathe for at least 2 hours. Utter or tell. Not breathe a word. Take a short break from one's activities in order to relax. Take a short break from one's activities in order to relax. Make easier. Lessen the intensity of or calm. The news eased my conscience. Lessen pain or discomfort. Alleviate. Ease the pain in your legs. Freedom from activity, work or strain or responsibility. Freedom from difficulty or hardship or effort. He rose through the ranks with apparent ease. Freedom from constraint or embarrassment. I am never at ease with strangers. A freedom from financial difficulty that promotes a comfortable state. A life of luxury and ease. The condition of being comfortable or relieved, especially after being relieved of distress. Getting it off his conscience gave him some ease. Move gently or carefully. He eased himself into the chair. The act of making less strict. Physics, the exponential return of a system to equilibrium after a disturbance. A feeling of refreshing tranquility and an absence of tension or worry. Freedom from activity, work or strain or responsibility. A method of solving simultaneous equations by guessing a solution and then reducing the errors that result by successive approximations until all the errors are less than some specified amount. An occurrence of control or strength weakening. The relaxation of requirements. Physiology. The gradual lengthening of inactive muscle or muscle fibers. Lean in a comfortable resting position. Freedom from activity, work or strain or responsibility. Took his repose by the swimming pool. Put in a horizontal position. The absence of mental stress or anxiety. A disposition free from stress or emotion. Be inherent or innate in. Lie when dead. Mao reposes in his mausoleum. Put or confide something in a person or thing. These philosophers reposed the law in the people. To put something, e.g. trust, in something. The nation reposed its confidence in the king. Rest on or as if on a pillow. Pillow your head. A cushion to support the head of a sleeping person. A wheel that regulates the rate of movement in a machine, especially a wheel oscillating against the hairspring of a timepiece to regulate its beat. Mathematics. An attribute of a shape or relation. Exact reflection of form on opposite sides of a dividing line or plane. The seventh sign of the zodiac. The sun is in this sign from about September 23rd to October 22nd. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. In all perfectly beautiful objects there is found the opposition of one part to another in a reciprocal balance. A weight that balances another weight. Equality of distribution. Something left after other parts have been taken away. He took what he wanted and I got the balance. Astrology. A person who is born while the sun is in Libra. Hold or carry in equilibrium. Bring into balance or equilibrium. She has to balance work and her domestic duties. A scale for weighing, depends on pull of gravity. A state of equilibrium. Be in equilibrium. Compute credits and debits of an account. Equality between the totals of the credit and debit sides of an account. The difference between the totals of the credit and debit sides of an account. A piece of cloth that is left over after the rest has been used or sold. Something left after other parts have been taken away. There was no remainder. The number that remains after subtraction. The number that when added to the subtrahend gives the minuend. Sell cheaply as remainders. The publisher remaindered the books. The part of the dividend that is left over when the dividend is not evenly divisible by the divisor. Something left after other parts have been taken away. Relating to or indicating a remainder. Residual quantity. Often plural. A payment that is made to a performer or writer or director of a television show or commercial that is paid for every repeat showing. He could retire on his residuals. Something left after other parts have been taken away. Matter that remains after something has been removed. Something left after other parts have been taken away. The feeling that comes when something burdensome is removed or reduced. As he heard the news, he was suddenly flooded with relief. Sculpture consisting of shapes carved on a surface so as to stand out from the surrounding background. A change for the better. Assistance in time of difficulty. The contributions provided some relief for the victims. The act of reducing something unpleasant, as pain or annoyance. He asked the nurse for relief from the constant pain. A pause for relaxation. Someone who takes the place of another, as when things get dangerous or difficult. The condition of being comfortable or relieved, especially after being relieved of distress. He enjoyed his relief from responsibility. Aid for the aged or indigent or handicapped. He has been on relief for many years. Law, redress awarded by a court. Was the relief supposed to be protection from future harm or compensation for past injury? The act of freeing a city or town that has been besieged. He asked for troops for the relief of Atlanta. An interruption in the intensity or amount of something. A pause from doing something, as work. Postpone the punishment of a convicted criminal, such as an execution. A pause for relaxation. The act of reprieving, postponing or remitting punishment. A temporary relief from harm or discomfort. A pause for relaxation. Make one's home in a particular place or community. May parents reside in Florida. Be inherent or innate in. Live, in a certain place. She resides in Princeton. Assume a reclining position. Lie down on the bed until you feel better. Originate, in. A statement that deviates from or perverts the truth. Have a place in relation to something else. The fate of Bosnia lies in the hands of the West. Norwegian diplomat who was the first Secretary General of the United Nations, 1896 to 1968. Be and remain in a particular state or condition. Lie dormant. Be located or situated somewhere. Occupy a certain position. Be lying, be prostrate, be in a horizontal position. Position or manner in which something is situated. Tell an untruth. Pretend with intent to deceive. Don't lie to your parents. Be based on. Of theories and claims, for example. Rest on for support. Work or act as a babysitter. I cannot babysit tonight. I have too much homework to do. Show to a seat. Assign a seat for. Be seated. Sit and travel on the back of animal, usually while controlling its motions. Be around, often idly or without specific purpose. Take a seat. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Be in session. When does the court of law sit? Be located or situated somewhere. The White House sits on Pennsylvania Avenue. Serve in a specific professional capacity. Show to a seat. Assign a seat for. Be seated. Take a seat. Be priced at. Represent, as of a character on stage. Form or compose. These constitute my entire belonging. be identical or equivalent to. Have life, be alive. A light, strong, brittle gray toxic bivalent metallic element. Have an existence, be extant. Work in a specific place, with a specific subject, or in a specific function. Have the quality of being. Copula, used with an adjective or a predicate noun. Occupy a certain position or area, be somewhere. What is behind this behavior? Spend or use time. I may be an hour. To remain unmolested, undisturbed, or uninterrupted, used only in infinitive form. Let her be. The time at which life ends, continuing until dead. She stayed until his death. The time when something ends. It was the death of all his plans. The event of dying or departure from life. Her death came as a terrible shock. A final state. The absence of life or state of being dead. He seemed more content in death than he had ever been in life. The act of killing. He had 2 deaths on his conscience. The permanent end of all life functions in an organism or part of an organism. The animal died a painful death. The personification of death.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.